Hi, fourth graders. So we're going to talk about marijuana, and there are some people that do smoke this. They use medical marijuana because it is kind of dulling their pain if they have cancer or maybe a disease that cannot be cured. But there's a major myth, and some people don't think that marijuana is dangerous, but it actually is dangerous. There are some states that have legalized it just for the average person, but look at what it's linked to. We know because of the study of the brain, remember those scans that we saw of what a mature brain looks like? That if teenagers and even college kids use marijuana, it can lead to many mental health problems in the future. We also know it has a negative effect with people that have breathing issues like asthma or even allergies. We know that it slows your coordination reaction speed. So when you're driving and you have to stop very suddenly, it can slow that reaction speed, which causes you to get in more accidents. And we also know that it introduces users to more dangerous drugs like heroin. So you can do your research about this and look kind of at the statistics of different states that have legalized this. But Ohio has not legalized this yet, only for medical use. Now let's talk about vaping. There are so many teenagers, even high school kids, that vape. And vaping is, they have these little pods, and you can kind of see in this picture. And you can put the pods kind of on these little contraptions here, and you can smoke it, kind of like a cigarette. It actually started because the company wanted to give people that smoke cigarettes with all those dangerous chemicals something else to smoke. But what they have found is that there is so much liquid nicotine that is in these pods that they vape with, that it's really, really, really dangerous. And again, what do we know about nicotine? It's very, very addicting. So we have to be careful with vaping. And they know that it lowers your body's response to healing after an injury. You develop a cough, kind of like smoker's cough. Now, look at this picture here. Let me go back here. They have now discovered that when you vape, that it actually causes what they call a popcorn lungs. So let's look at kind of these bronchial tubes inside your lungs. Can you see how clear that is? So when you breathe, you don't really have a problem with breathing. But then look what vaping does. They've actually discovered that all the nicotine, and there's still chemicals in that vaping pod and what they smoke, they're discovering that it's actually plugging up the bronchial tubes. And that's why a lot of people that vape cough, because they're trying to get all this yucky stuff out of their lungs. So again, it's just not good for you. Vaping is just not good for you, especially now with the coronavirus, which is a respiratory disease that definitely affects your lungs. They're finding out that some kids that really vape a lot are having some problems with this. So again, this should be a review for you. How do you stay away from cigarettes and vaping and drugs and alcohol? And you know what? For most of you, I have no worries. I know that you will never get into that stuff. But as you get into fifth grade and middle school, the pressure becomes a little greater. So let's kind of review this. Always have an excuse. If you go to a party, you go to someone's house, what's your exit strategy? It's so important to have that exit strategy. Again, change the subject to distract. Just say no and tell them why. Be honest. Walk away. Blame your parents. I know that's what my boys did. If my mom found out, which she would, my parents would ground me forever. Use a one-liner. Now, we're going to talk about something also that's in our health curriculum that I know. Look at these pictures. It's a little scary here. But our Board of Education wanted us to talk to you about weapons. So what would you do if someone did bring a weapon to school? Now, again, this is really, really unusual. But, someone might tell you, don't you dare tell. I'm going to hurt you if you tell. You have to be ready to respond and get a friend, write a note, go to the principal, go to the vice principal, go to the secretaries in the office, and report this to the adults right away. We need to know so the adults can take care of the situation. Okay? And then what do you do if you go to somebody's house and they get out a gun or they have knives laying out, or you kind of have to think about that. What would you do if you went to someone's house and that scared you? We have guns around our house. My husband is a hunter, but they are all locked up. So when you go to someone's house, those things should be, kept in private, and it is a part of our Constitution that you are allowed to have guns. But wow, they can be really, really scary. So you might want to have a conversation with your parents about that. What would you do if you saw somebody playing with a gun? I would probably get an adult right away and just tell the child, put that gun down, take the child away, but get an adult right away. So again, just some review. I know that you all know how to eat healthy. It's really hard staying inside, isn't it? Because it's super easy to snack, especially during this quarantine. But, try to think about having lots of fruits and vegetables, protein, and whole grains. So let's review our healthy brain habits. You need to make sure you get plenty of exercise, eat healthy, practice those strategies to reduce your stress. We have talked about that before. What are your healthy habits that you're going to do? Make sure you get plenty of rest. Make positive choices about drugs and alcohol as you get older. And I know that you are all awesome, awesome kids. And you can do this. You already do this. So don't forget those strategies when you get into those tricky situations with friends. What I would like you to do is a quick check. Just some 3 or 4 easy questions. And I want you to click on this Google link here. And let's go ahead and go to this form. And it says 4th grade positive choices for our minds and bodies. So you can write your first and last name, your homeroom teacher, and then it's going to ask you what activities you like to do to keep yourself healthy. What does alcohol do to your mind? What do cigarettes do to your body? And about how many hours of sleep do you need most nights? That's all you have to do as a quick check. And I will see you the following week for another lesson. I really, really appreciate you staying with me. I know this is a lot of information, and I was just going to have you read the PowerPoint, but there's some tricky things that we had to talk about this week. So again, if you have any questions about anything, you are more than welcome to email me. We can set up a Google Meet. I would love to do that. I would love to see you. So have a great week, great weekend, 4th graders.